Just when you thought SuperCoach couldn't get any worse, it does. What a weekend. Tristan Xerri, the Chiefs up and about. He's right again. Things are not looking good for me. The Phantom and 5 names. Welcome back. The Chiefs up and about again. What is going on? We can't stop him.
No, he's in his own words, seen him like beach balls at the moment. He was going to bring in a beach ball. He's the real smug Dotty, even though he wasn't top of the pod. So, yeah.
Well done. Yes, you're top of the pod. More on that in a minute. Unbearable, the Chief, at the moment. Also unbearable is what's happening in SuperCoach. Tristan Xerri, the must-have trade-in of last week. The saviour for all the carnage we had. How we were going to deal with it. Brought him in. He wipes his own blood, allegedly, on Andy McGrath.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, proceeded to score 70 or less. Big week, another big show, Chief.
Yeah, it feels like it is a bit. Yeah, thanks for the intro there. And yes, you can call me beach balls, Dossie, around these parts. Saying I'm like absolute beachies around these parts. But I actually had a pretty bad week, so I don't know what you're talking about. Just still better than old Fant, so still feeling all right about that. But yeah, look, it feels like as much as we do have the Xerri bullet, many of us have the Xerri bullet to deal with. If you didn't go there, congratulations. A bit of luck finally for whoever didn't go there. But it feels like we actually have a few more options this week, Fant, because the last couple of weeks we've been kind of forced into doing so many different trades or must-have rookies. This week feels a little bit more open to kind of do a few different moves. So it's probably the most interesting week in terms of variability that we've had so far this season, I think.
Yep. Someone scored 2,200, 2207.
Yeah.
Winner of SuperCoach in round 3, Chief.
Yes, Buds Spuds, 2207, 54th overall there. So the first place was ineligible, creating a second team there, I think. So naughty for that one. But Bud Spuds did get the number 1 score of eligible winners. So 1K weekly prize there, doubled to $2,000 if you are a SuperCoach Plus subscriber during the round. So congrats there, 54th overall.
That actually might be more than Fants and I score throughout the season.
Well, speaking of Spuds, do you want me to go first? Bottom of the pod?
Yep, let's go. Bottom of the pod. The King of Bop for the week.
I went and watched the Eagles and Port game on Sunday. It was a great day and thought after a few mares that you made, Ollie Hannaford, I thought there's no way I can lose a Dossie. Watching Willem Dersman, it was a great sight.
Yeah.
Enjoyed watching him in person. Only to get home and realise that it cost me bottom of the pod. 4 points behind you, 1794. Disaster.
Yuck.
8,000 spots dropped back down the rankings. 48,000. It's just.
And you were asking me before we came on the show, how do I fix this mess?
I did say that.
You said that.
It's a mess. But I think I found a way. I found a way.
Did you?
Thanks to your help as well.
Yep.
We'll get to that a bit later. But bottom of the pod for me, probably just absolutely where I belong at the moment.
Yeah, now old middle of the pod over here, poor old Dossie, back to, sort of just that middling territory. Really let myself down this week after a few poor decisions. I'll get into that straight away. I panicked. I brought in the horny one. I couldn't resist bringing in the man himself.
There he is again, the horny one.
This could bring you undone. I said don't do it.
The only thing is he could get DPP.
Look, look, bringing him in isn't the problem.
Names.
Bringing him in isn't the problem. It was putting the C on the big fella. 75, put the captaincy on him. So, yeah, disappointing scenes from old Dusty.
But you had Zach Butters, right? You could have put the C on Zach Butters.
I did. I panicked late and switched it over. C on him all weekend, and yeah. So,
but 5 names just on DPP. Yeah, that's what the Chief said. At worst, you could have a top 6 forward.
Yeah.
Well, the numbers, they're on edge because he could end up just with a top 30 midfielder.
Yep. Well, we've got some DPP numbers. We might delve deeper in them tomorrow, I think, on buy, hold, sell. But I do have the latest edition of the DPP numbers. So maybe drop in the comments if you do want to know a specific player, and maybe we can go through some of those tomorrow on buy, hold, sell show. But we've got the latest there. Fant, bottom of the pod, though, I did score 1798 and, middle of the pod. Yeah. 1790. It feels like bottom these days when I don't come top. you're not first, you're last. 1798 and 1315 overall season rank. 5 names, though, top of
Yep.
the pod.
Yes, well
Congratulations.
done. 5
Yeah.
names.
I needed a big week after some bad decisions, and even though I did bring in Xerri, I scored 1836. So not. I thought I was going to absolutely store 200 more points than Dossie, but you rallied a bit.
Some solid trades got you there too.
Yeah, I think so.
Maxi Holmes?
Yes, Matt Holmes.
In?
That's the one. That feels like a long time ago.
Does.
Yeah, even though Bear, that former friend of the show,
Former.
is he still?
No, he's still a friend.
Still
'Cause
friend of the
he's-
show. Bear trying to stuff with my Matt Holmes plans by saying that Chase Jones was going to tag him.
Yep.
Mm.
No,
He
he sent something in again, Bear. Last week,
7AFL social media guru.
he
by the
might
way,
have
for those who
contributed
don't know
last
Bear.
week. He's sent something else about our man Dossie, so we'll get to that a bit later.
Yeah, Matt Holmes helped me to that one. So that was good bounce back.
Well, let's talk about some big names then, some heroes and villains per se.
Yeah.
Yep.
5 names.
Do you want me to start
Where you want you to start?
with a hero?
Yep.
Holmes is good. I'm going to give this to Caleb Saron because the way he got to 135 was very impressive. He was not doing, quite a low score in the first.
-6 halfway through the first
Yeah,
quarter.
he was just, I was thinking after the week before, I was going, oh no, this is a bust. This is a bad pick. But then he just found his way to 135. We're back.
Yeah, it was reward for those who went there from Goulden, I think. It was disappointing first week, but it is a season-long game. A lot of these trades you're making, you're hoping they're a keeper, and Sarong, bouncing back like that. I was happy for people that went there like yourself, 5 names, because you didn't deserve what you got last week from him.
That was terrible.
Solid bounce back from Sarong. Good hero for the week. Fan, who's your hero?
Got 2 heroes this week. One is you. You're my hero, Chief, because Willem Dersma, you were the only one on him. We all tried to talk you out of it, didn't go with him. He was unbelievable on Sunday, so well done.
Yep.
You're a hero.
Thank you.
The other hero, Harley Reid. I was on number 9 watch at Adelaide Oval on Sunday, 112 Supercoach points. We spoke about it last week, that 90, 93 or whatever it was. We thought that was 100, left 130 points on the table, some of his kicking and clangers, but tidied that up a little bit, ran rings around some of the power players out there. I think 5 names could have done that as well, given what Port put out. But 112 from Harley Reid, hitting his straps now. Picked him to push 3 figures and well into 3 figures, and hopefully now he can continue that.
Well, Fant, you read my mind. My heroes for the week, and it is plural. Heroes for the week.
Oh, he's taking it off. Oh, no. Oh, he stuffed it up. We're live here in the lair. The Chief's gone full nuff. And he's pulled it out. Now he's got it on backwards. Oh, unbelievable stuff.
yeah.
This is all staying in as well, by the way. Live commentary. The Chief's trying to get it back on. He's got it on backwards. He's finally got it on. Well done. Oh, so 3 takes. Gee, talking about car crash TV. That was it. Hope you're watching on the Code Sports YouTube channel because that was unbelievable
That might have
stuff.
been one of the funniest things I've actually seen.
I'm not coming on if you
Let's
edit.
go the Eagles.
I'm not coming on next week if you edit any of that out.
I won't, but it was incredibly embarrassing. So do jump on to Code Sports YouTube channel if you do want to check that out. That was a fumble from Dozzy. That was a Lair mare.
Fumble. That was a Lair
one. But it doesn't matter because the
What
Mighty
are we
Weagles,
doing
we
here,
are
Five Names?
2-1. The Mighty Weags 2-1. And tell you what, every West Coast option that we've picked this year, almost a must-have. Unfortunately, one
Well, yeah.
band
Yeah, pretty much.
it may be missing though in the next week that we have to talk about.
Yeah, 5 names got
Dev
Yeah.
Robb. But Willem Dersma, Josh Lindsay was back in the squad for a 70. Milan, obviously, hopefully he's back soon, been a star. Harley Reid, to your point. So all the Mighty Weagles
Yep.
get around
And
him.
obviously, Minima Qualter listening to the Lair as well. Fry pan. Fired him up with Josh Lindsay. He was very good on the weekend.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry, I just can't stop laughing. That's what I just saw.
I've got another good fry pan later as well, Chief.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, that's
sizzling.
we've got through that. Do we have an official Lair?
What about
mare
my villain?
outside?
You want
No,
my
we're not
villain?
villains.
Oh, yeah. Villains,
Jeez.
sorry.
Yeah, we,
What are you?
Dossie's rattled after that.
Oh, that was on.
All right, villains. Let's get through them quickly.
Jeez, that was.
Sherry's my villain. I mean, I
these
think
could be
he
everyone's.
could just be everyone's villain
Yeah.
this week. Obviously coming out, scoring a 68.
Sam Banks too. Oof.
A 68, same as old Lockie McAndrew, on a week that we were predicting he'd go 200 plus just about.
Yeah. Did Blackiston beat him in the ruck battle?
Well, he did in the hit-outs.
Went to water after the incident.
A couple of
Stand by
guys at
that.
my footy club, shout out Jacko and Max, said Blackiston's got his number in the ruck. So couple of nuffies over there at footy club.
It might not be your friend after what just happened.
No.
Right, what are we talking about?
All right, we're moving
Lair
on.
Mare?
So Lair Mare quickly outside of Dossie's fumble over here on the actual Lair. What is the other mare that we've got for the week, Fant?
So, Lair Mare.
Submit them on the Phantom SC on Instagram. Fant's Instagram, maybe mine as well from next week. We want to get...
Yeah, you or your mates or your league. Yep. We know the Nuffies on SuperCoach and Dream Team pages. We want to get dive deep into the SuperCoach mistakes, the mares of the weekend.
Yep. We want some videos too, I reckon. Submit your videos, your worst calls for the week, some shocking reactions to stuff that happens across the weekend. We'd love it. We'd love to put them on. We'll put them on the show. Lair Mare for the week. This week though, Fant, what have we got?
All right, now, the first one, we're going to get out of the way. Comes from our man Bear. Out Bear Tories. Now, in our draft league this year, group chat on fire. We want to get into your group chats too. We reveal what's happened in ours. We want to know what's happening in yours. You.
Me again.
You deserve this one though, Dossie.
Yeah, you fancy yourself as a bit of a meme master.
Meme lord.
Meme lord. You've gone with a picture, the famous picture of Heath Shaw smothering Nick Rewalt in the grand final back in the day.
Okay.
Came from absolutely nowhere. Nick Rewalt's tagged up as Bear's early crow.
Yep.
Saying he's going to take you down. Another Dossie W is Heath Shaw coming across the spoil of the ball out of nowhere. What happened after that?
Well, little was I to know that Cozzy Pickett was about to get 50 points in the last 2 minutes of that game and retake his early crow, because he called the W earlier in the week, to my later early crow.
Shameful behaviour.
I'm pretty sure Dossie did say worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. What's a Lair Mare from the,
all right,
the
okay.
people?
So
Though,
we've got a lot of Tristan Xerris.
Yeah.
So we do appreciate, we understand what you went through. A lot of
Commiserations.
Did. Going a bit further though, Drake Maddox here on Instagram says he won his league matchup by 13 points.
Oh no, he lost?
Won his matchup.
He won it, yeah.
He was playing. He captained, so he VC'd Sherry. Drake did. Took Gore and C. Big. Won by 13 points.
Yep.
His opponent, VC Caleb Throng, 135. Did not take it.
You take that.
Yeah.
So Sherry was the mare, but then backing in Sherry after 135. Now, we probably listened to the Lair last week, thought he was going to score 200, but didn't take 135. Sherry scored, what did he score as captain? 68.
That's a mare.
That's a mare. And that's on the Saturday as well, the little break between, you know, you would have had enough time to weigh it all up.
Yep.
That's a Lair Mare.
No good.
That's a Lair Mare. Jump in the Lair League if you haven't already. 128532. Phantom's punishment to come. Still to come.
Yeah.
We're still trying to get him to do that. That'll hopefully happen this week. News and notes for the week. The major one, of course, is Tristan Xerri straight to the tribunal. We'll talk about what to do with him in a second.
It's Monday night. So tonight, as we're recording on Monday afternoon.
Yep. And then Devon Robertson is the other one. 5 names. Do you want us to walk through us what's going on there?
Yeah, Robertson's probably going to get a 1 week ban because of he didn't concuss that Butters, but he pretty dangerous tackle. Head hits the ground. I think everyone's kind of accepting it's going to be a 1 match ban. Eagles might challenge. I don't know. There's not much of a case. They don't really have much of a case. You know, he pinned the arms, drove the head into the ground. Butters got up, you know, because he's tough as. But I don't be it's a dangerous tackle, which we don't want to see in the game, obviously. So Dev Rob probably going to have a little week off.
What about Sherry? How many games for him do we think?
I think it's at least 2. It looks like 2 to 4. I reckon if the AFL gets its way, it'll be 4. Which, you know,
so at least 2, we think. We're talking possibilities.
2. Yeah.
Here, what we're doing with Sherry, if it's 2, if it's 3, if it's 4. You know, anywhere in the new SuperCoach room, we've got extra trades, we've got boosts. 2 weeks has been, at this stage of the year, the cut off the trade. What do we think, Chief?
I think it really does depend on your situation, how you brought in Xerri, where he sits on your field. If he's your, I think I mentioned that my situation, which is similar to some people I've seen out there as well. If you've got McAndrew as cover now, you could, in theory, hold Xerri if it is let's say it's 2 weeks. And I think anything over 2 would be pretty hard.
Yep.
Four's a try.
4 I think has to be.
Especially with
3's line ball as well. 3 is like $680,000 on your bench. Unless you're flying, that's a lot.
Which is you're going well as well. So you've got both going. You started well. You're going to push McAndrew to R3 anyway.
Now, this is the only thought though as well. Okay, if we go 2 weeks, Carlton, Brisbane.
Yep.
And sorry if this is already dated by tonight, obviously, with the news, but Carlton, Brisbane, he comes back for Richmond and GWS.
Ooh.
You might have to think about that.
Yeah.
You might have to think about holding. If you do have the luxury of a McAndrew as cover, or maybe, as we've seen a rookie emerge from Collingwood as well, Oscar Steen, if you do have a way to sort of have him in the spot for a couple of weeks, and if he can hold his spot as well, it could be just a way to hold on to someone that we still think could be an uber premium. But is there any concern, I want to say, outside of obviously the act itself that is obviously doing rounds in the media, is there any concerns about the actual gameplay? Like, we thought he was going to go 200. We thought he was going to have a massive game. There's barely any stoppages in this game outside of the fact, Ben, you believe he was rattled after the incident and didn't really play up to what he was going. He started hot, faded.
Lockie Blackson kicked the first goal on him, got forward, and Xerri wasn't happy about that. I think quickly stamped his authority around the ball. 5 contested possessions, 5 clearances, I think, almost 40 points at quarter time. Almost manhandling Blackiston at the stoppages that they were around the ground.
It was looking good early.
It was. And he was in the 40s or pushing 50 early in the second term when the incident happened. Obviously, the incident happened. He gave away a double 50. Kicked the goal, still went down. It hurt. That double 50 hurt. Well, that would have been 15 points at least, almost 20 that he went down. Just never recovered from that. So I'm not writing Xerri off as a scorer.
The other thing is Flynn just that bad?
Well, I'd love to hold. It's just in my position as well. A lot of teams out there, there might not be much in it still. 48,000 to your position at 1,300. What do we work out? Just over 200 and about 250 points. That's just a really good week. You're a bit off, and I'm back up with you. But I need to make a move. I even can't afford to hold. Can't fall back any further and hold Xerri.
All right. So
what if it's 2? Would you hold if it's 2?
I think I'm trading.
Okay.
Just because I need to make a move.
All right. And we think it's what, minimum 2, we're thinking?
Yeah. I think it's minimum going to be 2.
All right. Well, where do we go then, Fan? If I think the obvious one people are looking at, especially a matchup this week, the Bont. Who's he up against, Fan?
Well, we're just going to follow the Bombers. Well, we're just every week we'll just follow whoever the Bombers are playing.
Look, you're paying top price again, which obviously this hasn't necessarily worked out for Xerri. The good thing about it though is because he came off the $199, he's only lost $4,800 off that price. So you've still got his full price to work with if you do want to trade. And to get to a Bont, you're still paying up. You have to pay about $30K. He's $709,800 Bont at the moment. It is just exorbitant a price, but he's up against the Bombers. You do get that sugar hit, and we just know Bont, regardless of the year, he's pretty much going to average 120 to 130. He
also probably won't smear blood on someone's face.
And once that 199 is out of Xerri's cycle, if he doesn't come back and score a big score, then that break even is going to go up as well. Even if SuperCoach Plus, even if he scores 136, let's say, his first game back, still falls by 20K and break even's up to 200.
Yeah.
That's with a good score. So
yes,
he's coming down a little bit. I know we pick these players. If you hold him, doesn't matter what he falls to. But if you're trading, getting Bont, even though we've just traded him in, you have to sort of forget that a little bit now. And, is Xerri coming down just the way come down a little bit more and you turn McAndrew back to Xerri once he does return and hits your straps again, potentially. But Tim English as well, up against Lockie Blackiston this week, 608K. Make money off the Xerri move. if you need to fix something else too.
Plenty of people going basically a straight swap to Max Gawn as well, who's just doing what Gawn always does. He's just unbelievable, isn't he? Just number one scorer last year, total points. Maxi Gawn.
Suns this week.
Suns this week, a tougher matchup against Wits.
Oh, it'll get done though, Maxi.
He just gets it done.
The
But
other
the
one,
Suns midfield though, you think dominates?
Yep. The other one, I mean, the other way you could probably look at it is use that Xerri money to fix up
Yeah.
a couple of issues. Sort of this is my original. I've
That's what
got
I'm
two
doing.
ways that I'm looking at it. You know, one is getting in Bont and, you know, going that way. The other way is just going a couple of guys I like that are cheaper. If I go just say Xerri down to Josh Dacos, because I'm a big fan of his role at the moment. I think he's getting that kick in centre bounce combo that we kind of want. And then I can upgrade, you know, let's say Parish, who just isn't looking good, to Colby McKercher. Is the aggregate going to be better of those two compared to like a Bont and maybe a Dursma if I bring him in for Parish?
Mm-hmm. So you're basically looking at hopefully having two keepers versus, let's be honest, one, because Parish is certainly not looking like a keeper at the moment, and he's a guy that we'll talk about a little bit more later on. But I think that's the way I'd lean towards going as well. I don't really think, unless you're super enamored with Bont, which I don't blame you, I don't think I'd be going sideways for anyone other than Bont, even though Gawn is also tempting. But I think I like the idea of just fixing up. Like even if it's a rookie that you've sort of got a red dot rookie, that's where I've potentially got some issues to fix in my rookie department, because when we exit this week, after this week, we're out of the buys for the early season buys. We are out of the buys. We have to go back to the 23 on ground rather than best 18, and you're going to be exposed coming out. So you need to have those green dots, those ready to play players coming in next week. You have to have a full team because we're not going to be shielded anymore from next week. So I think if you do have those issues, then that's the way I'd be
that history does say the Bont will fall. His price will fall at some point. I know, as Fant says, you are, that doesn't matter if you have him for the whole season, but if you are, if you still are, don't want to pay, the full value, or you still think, you might be able to get him at a cheaper price at some point in the season, history says he does fall.
As frustrating as it is that we've just brought Xerri in, have to sort of just forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
This is now a injury/suspension that you've got to deal with.
Same as Track, same as Rosie.
Same as if someone else that you started with was facing a 3-game ban.
Yeah.
And was worth $680K.
Yeah.
Got to deal with it like that now.
All right. Some other hot topics for the week. I've just mentioned it as well. We are up to the final of the early buy rounds, thankfully. So rounds 2 to 4, obviously the early buy rounds, and then we've got to deal with them again later in the season between rounds 12 and 16, but not for some time, which will be great when we get into some actual full rounds of footy. But the round 3 buys, we've got to deal with Giants and the Saints. Now, there are quite a few players.
A lot of defenders.
As much as there's only 2 teams on this buy, you've got Lockie Ash, Lockie Whitfield, Joe Fonte, Clary, who I'm a proud Clanwell owner.
Yep.
Cogs even at 9%, surprisingly higher than I thought. Flanders 63%. Filippo, Sinclair, very highly owned, as well as Jack Carroll, a rookie option that many people have. And Wanganeen Miller at 30%, and some people, TDK up at 10% still. So lots of players to navigate around despite only 2 teams on the bye. But hopefully we can all field at least a fair few numbers this week. But that is certainly something to keep an eye out. The other thing, bit of hot topics news that I did mention off the top, we can go through some of these numbers on buy, hold, sell with Phantom and myself. Maybe Sim. Probably not. Maybe. Tomorrow, dual position players. So dual position players, new players based on their time in position are added after round 6. So we're edging closer to round 6 every game, Fant. And as players play in different positions, they can change position if they spend 35% time or more in that position. And there are a few names emerging that could be nice little flexible options for us. Couple names, obviously, we're looking at.
How's the horny one?
Some rookies are the ones probably that are key for us as well here. Like, I know people were keen for a Dyson Sharp when he initially was in our teams. Obviously, probably not the scoring option we thought. Milan Murdoch. Now, just for people wondering, needs to play a third game, and that is how it works here. So if you've played 3 games and you qualify in the positional stats for this first round of position changes, you need to have played 3 games by round 6.
It could be unlikely for him.
To get it. So, yeah, he's got to suit up before then. If he does, he's in line for forward status, so we'll be able to swing him forward.
Oh, we don't get any good forwards because it's a...
Where's Tuke?
There is a, yes. So Tuke Miller, and I can go through again. I can go through some requests tomorrow on our show if you do want to know some more numbers, but I'll look at Tuke Miller right now for all you guys. He is 45% mid, 55% forward. So he would be in line to gain forward status should that hold, and pretty much you'd expect that to hold by now.
Yeah, and we need it because the forwards have no.
Yeah.
We do. Now, the other one, which part of the reason why old Dossie went a little bit early on Horn Francis, 47% forward time at the moment. So that means that he would right now be eligible as a forward. So he'd be a mid forward, but he's got to hold that above 35% forward time until round 6. So that's going to be a tough ask, I think.
Nervous to watch for Dossie.
Yeah, that would be.
Anyway, a few names there. Request some if you want for tomorrow's show. We'll go through a bunch more of there, and you can obviously check them all out on Code Sports as well. There's probably 2 things we mentioned that you'll be looking at doing this week, and that's fixing up the dead rookies, like we mentioned. So we'll get to rookies on the bubble shortly. But the other option, and I think it's what probably a lot of people are keen to do this week, it is fixing up those failed mid-price picks. And there's been a heap of them this season, fam. We're going to look at some warning signs.
Yep.
Now, it's a stale trade type of situation here.
Game show.
The only thing is, are we ignoring the advice from we mentioned last week? SuperCoach with DR tweeted out, do not, I repeat, do not trade any of your healthy players. Blokes are dropping like flies at the moment. 1 week later, after we've dealt with Petrarca and Rosie, we are already considering getting rid of our healthy blokes just because they're annoying us, fan.
There's a difference between annoying us and realising that it's not the pick.
Yeah.
Now, sure, if you've been hit with all the carnage and we've got more issues to deal with this week, hold them. But I think this is the time of the year to make the move on a player. Darcy Parish tops the list of traded out mid-prices at the moment, and I'm all for that. We've spoken about him on the show the past couple of weeks. Just looks slow. Can't get a kick. Darcy Parish getting around 347K. I think it's time to sort of call it that he's not going to make the money. He's not going to maybe get back to the scoring that, made him a 600K premium a few years ago and make some money, get on a money train because there's still a few around. That's the key as well this stage of the year. There's still a few worth jumping on. You can make money on the trade. And then, if you went down to, say, Willem Dersma, does Willem Dersma go past Darcy Parish in price in a couple of weeks? Maybe.
Where are you at 5 names? I know you're a Parish.
Yeah, I reckon trade. It just doesn't. These new rules, he's not suited for them at all. Yeah.
19 touches, 6 contested possessions. Yeah, it's a 68% efficiency and 69% game time as well. Dons are struggling.
He generally could get dropped.
Good.
People trading out cogs. We mentioned Cornelio on the buy this week. Went down in price last week, and that's not what you want from a mid-price. I had a couple of good scores in there, but overall, was it time to move on from cogs? 5 names.
43 SuperCoach points and 56% game time for Todd.
He's not playing enough.
Yeah,
Cogs.
Get off him. Giants are a bit of a mess in a lot of ways.
Lockie Blackiston, 301,000. He has made you $5,000 for the year.
Well, this is what we said last week. We said, 2 weeks ago, didn't we? Blackiston to Fonte. We picked Blackiston to make you money, be a stepping stone to get up to a premium. Called that 2 weeks ago that he wasn't going to be that player we hoped he was going to be. Joe Fonte has made money and he's going to keep making money for the next few weeks after the buy. So that was a tick. And I think now with Blackiston, if there is someone else there to get onto, jump off the money train onto another one or go up. Could it be a way to Colby McKercher? Is it worth spending money, Blackiston to McKercher?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think, Chief?
Yeah, I think so. You said he's up against Tim English as well. Now, he's a guy that can jump. We saw, I think, on the injury report last week as well, surprisingly, Nick Bryan was only 1 week away.
Yep.
Does that mean, would they rush him back?
No,
almost? I don't think so. But
he'd be VFL maybe a couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
that does.
Anyway, it's impending.
Yeah.
It is his, I think, impending doom. At least as a ruck, at least in the team as a ruck, I think is probably soon to be extinct. So possibly look for a way out there. What about Caleb Windsor? So people jumping off him. It's okay.
I think you'd surely have bigger priorities to trade out. Like
the roles there.
The roles there.
24 touches.
The scoring is so. The scoring's annoying. I think he's just going to be a slow burn. If he can just, I think you want to trade him out eventually, but I don't think you need to this week.
Only 12 is 24 effective.
Yeah, it just.
But he's getting the ball, can it?
Yeah, it could
have
change.
70, 53, 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. The defensive status is what probably saves him over a Parish, but even then, Gold Coast this week. Then he's got Essendon. Maybe you wait for the Essendon matchup, see if he can have a spike score. But yeah, it's not great. A few other players there. Tom de Koning.
Trade
that one, you think, guys? The ruck split, the time splitting ruck's just not great.
Yeah.
I'm off him. Tanner Bruhn.
I'd say hold.
Surprisingly low time on ground, wasn't it? And now old Beach Balls Dossie over
Good
here.
early.
Old Beach Balls over here said hold off trading him in last week. Seen him like Beach Balls.
Yeah, I was very much the opposite.
Yeah.
Very good start on the weekend. Shocking conditions down there, the Cattery. But started well, 27, mid-20s at quarter time. Didn't get, as we said, spent a lot of game time on the bench after that.
Yep.
Finished with 47. Added 37K to his price tag. His break-even's still low, 29, but that 110-point score in round one will be out off that average soon. So does this 47, regardless of how I think we talked about last week, great player. Forget the talent that he has. It's going to be okay. And we'll still probably put up a few good scores, but that 47 hurts that early cash generation that we need from him. You pick him as a stepping stone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now, how long do you wait?
Exactly. Like keeper leagues, draft leagues, buy low, jump on. The time on ground will rise as he eventually sort of gets back in the swing of it, you'd imagine.
And, like I'm thinking about trading him this week, but still forecast him scoring 80 or more on Easter Monday against the Cats.
Yeah, you got to kind of
against the
expect to be burnt on the other end of it, but because of the awkward price, because of what we got, none of our rookies are fattened up enough yet. And if you want to make that big trade, it's up to whether you really want to pull the trigger yet. If you think you're going to get a bona fide keeper and say a McKerch is going to take that step up, then sometimes you've got to sacrifice someone who is not going to maybe be that level of scorer. And also, by the way, people wondering, Tanner Bruhn's probably one that people want to know about, DPP, dual position. Ooh. Now, a bit of a myth that he's been playing a heap of defence. So 13% time in defence. He's got 13% time forward as well, which means 74% time midfield. So there's no way he's going to get a defensive status based on those numbers. So unfortunately, he will remain a mid-only based on what we're seeing at the moment in the data. So at least for this first round of dual position changes. And one final one showing, and I'd be certainly worried as an owner here, is Darcy Cameron. So Darcy, we'll be talking about a rookie option shortly. Darcy Cameron lost the number one ruck on the weekend to Oscar Steen. Was that because of the matchup, Kieran Briggs? Or is this a bigger picture plan to get some centre bounce usage for the midfielders who, Cameron's been a great ruck for a number of years. Best and fairest last year. Are they moving on, or is this just to give Steen a taste against probably one of the easier ruckmen to get a hit out against?
I think we need to just wait. It's 1 week. He was good, but let's just wait.
The other thing is Collingwood's key forward stuff's pretty terrible. So are they going to use Cameron as that? That's the other thing.
So as an owner though, in Classic, Darcy Cameron jumping off. There's some owners out there.
I think so.
Okay. Rookies on the bubble.
Big week last week. The rookies on the bubble.
Huge.
Bit quieter or a bit different this week.
Yep.
Not the plethora of options that we had ahead of round 3, but still a few interesting ones to discuss. Some ones not completely obvious. Made some money already. Are they worth jumping on? We're talking about Jack Watkins. We're talking about Willem Dersma.
Jack Watkins started real well.
Did.
Yeah.
Kicked a goal.
I think owners also Supercoach in general got lucky last week with the fact that Milan and Todd Marshall both not playing, essentially giving us another week or two before, if they, hopefully Marshall comes back. 5 names, give us more on that one. But Milan Murdoch and Todd Marshall, the moment they play, you jump on both of them. They're going to make a heap of money.
Yep.
But yeah, we got lucky that we didn't have to burn, there was 4, 5, 6 options last week that we could have had, and we got lucky that they weren't all on the same week. So whenever they're ready to go, grab them. But let's talk about those other options.
Well, firstly, is he going to play Todd Marshall this weekend?
I think he's up against it.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the latest.
That's not what I want to hear.
No. Yeah,
So stay away if you are a non-owner.
Okay.
But Jack Watkins, though, up to 156K now, made 57K, as 5 names said, started well, like the power.
Yep.
Fell away, though, finished with 69 Supercoach points. What do you think, 5 names? That's still a pretty good price, 156K.
Yeah.
Break even is still negative 51. But are we, given what happened to Port in the second half, given you've got Ollie Wines, Miles Bergman waiting in the wings probably to come back in, is Watkins safe longer term?
Well, I reckon if they're dropping someone for Ollie Wines, it's Will Brodie.
My man.
Like easily. That's an easy draw.
Supercoach numbers never lie.
We haven't
Have you seen his numbers?
yet. We haven't mentioned yet.
I got him back in the team.
Right.
67 points in 40% game time. Darcy, get those points.
How many meters gained?
Points? No, I don't care about minutes gained. Supercoach does not. Points per minute. Get 10 contested possessions. I can name you 6 other blokes that didn't even get 10 contested possessions combined.
He's all right.
Anyway,
moving
on. Jack Watkins.
I still think his job security is okay, to be honest. Like, I just think he's going. I don't know, unless if they're going to put Birdman in the mid, like throw Birdman straight in the midfield, which they could. Birdman might be the big issue there, because especially one, I don't know if you're going to mention, Josh Lye looked quite good
yes, yep.
on hit debuts. So maybe that's a little bit of a worry for Watkins. But yeah, I think he could. Yeah, I think he still could hold his spot.
Chief,
156. Yeah.
Would you go down? Could you go down from a Parish to Watkins or something like that?
I don't think I'd do that.
And then up, then play an extra, get McKercher.
It's really hard. His scoring power's just not been massive, and it's due to, I think, time on ground factor. You mentioned Brodie struggled with like 40% time on ground. Watkins barely gets above 60 and basically 60% in basically any game he's played so far. He's running at like 80 minutes a game. So yeah, I think for me, it's a tough one really, because if he gets a spike score, anyone that doesn't have him is up against it. Like if he comes out against Richmond and gets 100, I thought he was going to go 100 plus on the weekend. He started hot.
Worried.
He was on about 30 at quarter time, Watkins, but as West Coast, the mighty West Coast Eagles got back in the game, Watkins sort of fell away as well, as did the whole Port Adelaide squad. It's a tough one. 156K, a lot to pay. At this point in the season, when we do have lots of bargain basement guys coming through, including an Oscar Steen in a week's time, including some other players that we can talk about shortly. But yeah, I think, as you said, 5 names. I'm backing in the intel from 5 names. Solid job security.
Yeah, I think one rookie can be, well, we hopeful when I say this, can be sure about. After we've fired up Minnie McQualter and we've got Josh Lindsay back in. Still hasn't had a price rise, 122. He was good on the week on Sunday. 70 Supercoach points, but was importantly passed the eye test as well. Was clean as well at ground level, and then his kicking was pretty good too. Negative 59 break even, 122K. He's the rookie we think you can go to this week if you're downgrading or you need the cash.
Yeah, I'd say if Marshall or Murdoch don't get up, he's pretty much must have, I think. His basement price.
Yeah, Murdoch isn't getting up.
No. So basement price, Lindsay might be up number 1 rookie target.
I think so.
He was leading all scorers, by the way, for West Coast at halftime. Fell away, ended up on a 70 still. He's our best kick.
Yep.
best kick, taking some kick-ins already. He's the one question I'll ask you, because I was begging people not to trade him out, saying he'll be back within 2 or 3 weeks. Old beach balls over here.
No, well done.
Could you trade him back in? Could you swallow your pride? I think you have to.
Absolutely.
I think you have to swallow your pride. If you traded him out, I think you need him back.
Well, you just got to treat it. You forget what's happened. You treat it now as a rookie. You're still using a trade if you were going to go with, Jake Rogers or if say Tom Marshall did play, it's still the same. You're still using one. You're going to use a trade if you need to make it. So you have to just look past the fact that you might have moved on.
Now, quickly, we've got 5 names here. Great intel from Adelaide and Port Adelaide on codesports.com.au. Always. There's a lot of rookies on the bubble or just past the bubs this week. We need your intel on. So we've mentioned Marshall. You think maybe not going to get up. When he does, we've said grab him. Jack Lukosius has one of the lowest break-evens in Supercoach this week, -62. He's averaging 103 off 2 games, but he's priced at 242.
He should have had more against Eagles. Missed an absolute sitter.
Went down back and took some kick-ins when Radaglia went down.
That's where Radaglia went down.
What do you think?
Imagine he's not going to
Richmond this week. Could we get enough cash just from a spike score here? And he's already on 2. He's averaging 100 after 2 games. Is it enough?
It's not a long-term play. It's just not a long-term play at all. Okay. With Lukosius, I think after this week, the fixture gets a bit harder for Port.
Is there any way he stays as a defender?
I don't think so.
If Marshall's out, Radagalia's out?
Well, it goes there with Thatcher.
Okay.
So
it's not a bad, we're going to talk about a guy next where Willem Dersma 270k as a money-making option. Coach is 28k cheaper. Not the player Willem Dersma is, and it could definitely just easily fall to pieces. Jake Coach is scoring, given that 5 names said Port's dream run, maybe they're the soft part of the draw, which is after we were raving about it before. 1 and 2, 1 and 3 potentially if they lose to Richmond.
Couple of other names from Adelaide. Chase Jones, you were big on him in the preseason. Wasn't obviously amazing on the weekend, but he's still got a -53 break even. Where's the job security at for Chase, do you think?
You don't really see Nick's made too many wholesale changes. Like Dawson will come back in, obviously. I think Chase can keep his spot this week.
Well, had 9 touches, 4 of them were kick-ins.
Oh, okay.
Play-ons.
No thanks.
So
Huey Bond, last one.
Oh, yeah, Hugh Bond. Yeah, I think Hugh Bond's in their best 23.
Yeah, but not 84 Supercoach points on the weekend, but definitely a lockdown defender.
I assume Mitch Hinge might be coming back soon. I'm sure. I don't know if he's in best 23 for them at the moment, but you got guys like Braden Cook's obviously cemented.
Too late for Cooksey. Is it too late for Cooksey? -12 break even, 220k, averaging 78.
He was good. He was very good
on
the weekend. I think it is a bit late because that break even -12, still good, 220.
He's going to need to keep pumping out these solid scores for it to be worth it. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Too late. Just a couple more names. One interesting one for the Xerri manoeuvre. Ned Reeves, -46 break even at 200 odd K. What is his price at actually? You'd have to get that up for me, Fan. He's averaging 242, 95 average. Could you pivot and just make some money?
His next 2 games are Geelong, so it could be a rookie ruck, and then West Coast.
No, dogs.
Oh, the Hawks. Oh, sorry. For some reason, sorry, brain went. Right.
Dogs. Then Port, Gold Coast, Collingwood.
The problem here, guys.
Interesting.
He plays half a game.
Yeah.
He's at 50% time on ground for the season. He's averaging 1.5 points per minute, which is
Will Brodie levels.
Well, it is actually pretty close, but it's like beyond Bont level scoring at the moment. Can he just make enough money? And is this a silly money play, or is it seriously a cash grab that could work for the next few weeks? You just grab Ned Reeves, get him up to 400 odd K, reduce the gap, go to someone else if you need to.
Maybe 240. I don't know. It's hard because they've got the split well. They've got the split well for them as a footy team. Yeah. They're Mitchell. But it could easily just not work for Supercoach 1 week or 2 weeks, and there's his cash gen gone.
Yep. Final name here. Now, there are obviously other names, so these are the one we're talking about here. The other Xerri, not Tristan, Christopher Xerri, spelt scary, pronounced Sherry. Negative 45 break even, a 31 in game 2. He's a 99K option, which is basically the only reason we're looking at him. Job security, though.
We were hopeful. Justin Longmuir had good things to say about him after his debut, scored well at 99K. We even flagged last week that he could be one to look out for.
The conditions weren't great.
No. I think he stays in the team.
Okay.
Hard to pick him after 31, though.
We need some Freo fan intel, I think, in the comments. Let us know what you think of Christopher Xerri and whether we should be going there because he could feature as a buy.
Last one.
Hold sell.
Last one. What do you think about Willem Dersma at 270K? Negative 33 break even.
He's averaging 90. Where's me Guernsey? Let me
try it again.
I can't not be enough on this one. So I think where I'm at, I wouldn't be trading. I don't know what's the level.
Would you trade him in for Parish to make some money?
How much money are you making in that trade? 100K. I think it depends on where you're going on the other end.
Yeah.
And where Parish is he in the squad? I mean, well, the thing about
I don't mind Parish.
The thing about Durs is he actually plays time on ground. Like Bombers' midfield rotations are just sitting on the bench for half the game for all of them, pretty much. So, yeah, why not? Go to someone who's not a Eagles enough, though. Fant, you're saying you'd do that?
Well, do you want to have my hypothetical trades that you helped me with? Boosting. Tristan Xerri, Tanner Bruin, and Sam Banks. Well, just maybe when Jaden Short retires. Out for Willem Dersma, Marcus Bontempelli, and Colby McKercher.
Yep. Don't mind it.
You helped me with that, didn't you? So
I did.
I'm getting, McKercher, who I want to get everything at Banks, who it's not going to take that step, I don't think, with the current Richmond side. I'm getting the Bont replacement, the premium replacement from Xerri, using it to get Bont before it's going to become difficult going up from the rookies. And then Dersma and Bruin. It's more Bruin to Bont almost with the money that I've made. It's almost like Sam Banks is what I'm doing. Down. He's not going to make enough money to get up, and he's probably not going to be that scorer I hoped he was going to be. Going him down to Willem Dersma, making 150K on the trade, and could Willem Dersma pass him in price in 4 or 5 weeks? The way he's going, maybe. And then I'm doing Tristan Xerri to Colby McKercher, making that cash.
Yeah. I'm looking at Ned Reeves there, though, in his role as ruck. It's free scoring in the ruck if you can get the hit-outs to advantage like he's doing. But
so Reeves ahead of Dersma?
Nah, probably not. Nah, the GOAT. Not ahead of the GOAT, please. All right, top targets.
Top targets, good way into it.
Yep. Take it away, Fant, your top targets for the week.
Top target this week, ahead of a clash with Essendon. Given Tristan Xerri is out, use the money to get to him. Marcus Bontempelli, if you don't go now, when are you going to go? You're going to wait for another injury. You won't be going up to 700K from a rookie anytime soon. So Marcus Bontempelli this week. Number 2, Colby McKercher. The role is now officially back. 35 touches for him on the weekend. 5 kick-ins. Hanging out the back, 1-2 from the kick-in. If he wasn't being used from the kick-in, he was there in the pocket receiving the ball back into play. So we saw it the previous week in the loss to the Eagles. The role and the time on ground started to improve. It solidified against the Bombers on the weekend. So Colby McKercher, great buying, didn't raise too much in price, but I reckon goes skyrocketing from here. Number 3, Tim English. If you're looking for a Tristan Xerri straight replacement and you want to make some money, 608K up against Lockie Blackiston and the Bombers this week. Number 4, the top rookie buy of the week, Josh Lindsay. Thank you, Minnie McQualter, for getting him back in the side. 122K, looked very good against the Power on Sunday. So hopefully he stays in the Eagles side and hopefully stays in our Supercoach sides now for a while and makes some serious money. Number 5, Dossie's man, Willem Dersma, 270K. I think it's a good option given what we've seen. Does the role midfield time even increase from here? Maybe. He's taking contested intercept marks in defence, and he's taking contested marks in the forward line too. He's kicking goals from contested marks. He's taking them in front of Jordan Sweet. Big Port Ruckman Jordan Sweet. Maybe it says more about Jordan Sweet than it does about Willem Dersma, but he was great on Sunday. And he's an option now, I think, that you can be sure about is going to make money to correct that mid-price option. I'm doing it from Sam Banks. He could do it from Darcy Parish. I think that is the money hop, the train hop to do. So Willem Durbs with number 5.
I love it. I love it, Fan. Just the more Weagles, the better for me. Unique names with 5 names.
Yep. So had a bit of a think about this one because there were some options that I think were pretty easy ones, but given the forward line is that bad, the forward options are so bad. There's one name that kind of stood out to me on the weekend. Returning after suspension, Zach Bailey.
Ooh.
Somebody I've spoken about before. He does get more midfield time. I know McCluggage is out, but Brisbane, Brisbane needed to win that game. Comes in, he scores very well.
Yep.
Did kick a couple of
17 touches, 115 Supercoach points.
Hit a couple of snags, I think, to get there. But he's a guy, if he can get that midfield time a little bit more, he could be a very interesting forward option.
Also, you had him as a buy last week in buy, hold, sell. I'm glad to hear you're listening to that 5 names.
And like you say, he had kicked 2 goals to get the score, but he always kicks goals. So I think you can be sure about him getting on the score sheet most weeks.
Yep. Do you think this is going to be, by the way, because I think every single week so far you've traded in your...
Well, he's a man of his word.
Do you think this is going to be another week?
No, I've got other things to do.
He's not a sexy name. He's not like... He's a great player, but he's, for some reason, I think just the volume of disposals seems to be...
What about...
Also, I can't boost again. I've boosted the last 2 weeks. We can't be doing this.
All right.
Quickly, just on that game, we mentioned him. Kitty Coleman.
Yeah.
Noah Answorth down. Darcy Gardner was down, went back behind the ball, scored 100 Supercoach points. 265k, break even of 7. Yes, he's added 32k to his price tag. Interesting one. I think one we probably would be talking about more if Colby McKercher didn't do what he did on the weekend.
Yeah.
Might get a mention in by hold sell.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few more names that'll definitely get a mention that we couldn't touch on. Yes, we've already a long show. There's some guys also that you could, again, could you go early as well? Looking at some rookies, I don't think I'll be doing that again. Just quickly, some other names that popular names that people are trading in. Very quickly on a few names here. So Lukosius, just quickly, 3rd most traded in player right now this week. Very interesting. I don't know. Don't mind it. Shea Bolton, who we didn't give probably enough respect last week in the show, went for another huge score. He's got Adelaide this week as well. So long as Hayden Young's out of the side, you think he'll be playing that midfield time? What do you think of Bolton as a forward option? 5 names?
I like him. Yeah, he's one I looked at. I tried to do a little bit different because I think a lot of people are talking about Bolton. He's definitely, he definitely can score when he gets in there. Like, he was excellent. He had that class in there for Freo. It's just, is there too many names? Is there too many mouths to feed? I don't know. It's he's still a hard one to get a good read on.
Maxie Holmes as well. You're an owner now, telling people to jump on.
Matt Holmes is. Yeah, I'd just jump on him. He's so good.
But how can we trust Shea Bolton? Scored tons last year. Remember, they followed up with a 5-point performance.
Yeah, had 5.
Just super inconsistent. I can't go there.
And those big scores against Melbourne and Richmond at Optus.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
Tom Stewart, affectionately known as Spewart.
Shout out to Patch.
Dossie's team.
So
last year,
when most were going Houston last week, Patch went Tom Stewart.
Houston. We have a problem.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
He was burned a bit.
Could he be in the Parish category of
They weren't listening to McRae.
Sell immediately?
I think Josh Dacos is the guy there.
You said that last week. You did.
I just really like Dacos' role, Josh Dacos' role. Hopefully his shoulder's okay. I think he might have had a little bit of a shoulder.
Yeah, went off early.
Yeah, shoulder concern. So maybe a sweet spot, but if he's fine, I think he's the man there. Houston does this. When you're talking about Houston will score really well and then he'll score terribly.
3 more names because we got the pan and then we're wrapping this up. Cozzy Pickett, his first really ceiling score. I think for me, he just scores in bunches, but consistency again, is that going to be there?
Yeah, no, consistency, yeah.
Foss, Finn O'Sullivan fan, a huge score now. Tagging, kept Merritt to nothing and had about 140 himself, I reckon. As a defender, he's 350k.
He's a tad, he's a tad, he's tagged Butters, he's tagged Merritt.
Midfield role though, do we like touches, that as a defender?
11 contested possessions.
Can get his own
as a player. I just think with Colby, for less than 100K or about 100K more now.
Yep.
I think you do spend it on Colby.
Josh Rochelle, monster performance
that was-
on the
yeah.
weekend. He is, he's only 390K as a forward.
What's the
Again, a guy
break
we
even?
didn't give respect just because we didn't know he was going to have the perfect role.
No.
And he had his breakout midfield game.
Yeah, it was
do you think?
still that. I mean,
No Dawson.
Yeah, no
53 point break
Dawson.
even.
Rankin's still building his way, and you'd assume that he's going to get the midfield time after that performance. But I don't know. Maybe it's because we're just a little bit unsure what Nix will do there. I mean, there's enough to suggest that that this midfield that he can store well this year.
And
But,
finally,
yeah.
mid forward premium player, Tim Kelly. Thoughts on him? Low 400K.
No.
Get every West Coast Eagle in your squad.
Plain port.
Put that.
Plain
Gansey.
port.
Can we replay that? If you're doing it? Can you send me the clip so I can post it after this?
Who's in the pan this week, Fant?
Will Ashcroft.
Mm.
Now, 92 Supercoach points on the weekend. 2-time Norm Smith medalist. Started okay, had one touch in the third quarter. One touch. Now, Will, it wasn't me that just noticed it. His coach made a beeline for him at 3-quarter time. This is what Chris Fagan said post-game about what happened at 3-quarter time. Quote, I had to give him a little bit of a poke at 3-quarter time. I said, mate, it's about time we got going. And he said to me after the game, did I get going? And I said, you did, mate. Thanks for that. So, yes, well done, Will. You got going last quarter, got your side over the line. But what were you doing in the third quarter? Just because it's not a grand final, he needs to get out there and get going straight away because 92 Supercoach points isn't going to cut it, especially when you haven't turned up in any game so far this year. I picked you to go 115. You're not doing that. So, come on, respond to this show like you did your coach and get going. In Supercoach.
In the pan. Here we go.
Pies this weekend, Thursday night.
All right. We've got buy, hold, sell tomorrow, fan, and we've got our late mail and captain show on Thursday. But again, we sign off by saying this time, fan, keep an eye out on Phantom's Instagram at the Phantom SC
And at 5 Names Fantasy.
and at Darcy SC.
And at Darcy SC.
For some news about the in-person Lair catch-up at Gather Round. Gather Round's coming soon.
Yeah, so Easter this weekend, Gather Round the following week. The Gather Round Friday afternoon.
Before the Collingwood Fremantle game?
Before Collingwood, Fremantle, Adelaide Oval. If you're free, if you're coming over, if you already live here, we'll be out and about in the afternoon. We'll decide on a place, choose somewhere if we've got enough interest.
Yep.
5 Names might or might not have his card on the bar, but come and catch. No, we've been joking all along, but that might not happen.
Nah, we'll figure out a way.
Oh, maybe. Okay. So depending. So let us know.
We'll need our to hit a
Yeah,
good for us.
Let us know. Let us know if you're keen to come along. Have a quiet refreshment. Could be a Diet Coke if that's what you want to do. And talk Supercoach before the big Friday night game in Adelaide. So more on that over the coming days. But let us know if you're interested. And I'm interested now because 5 Names, might have his card in the bar.
See you then.